Today we're exploring a city that's really a tale of two halves, a place where incredible imperial grandeur and just profound tragedy are etched into the very same streets. We're diving into Budapest.
Okay, so the very first thing you need to get about Budapest is that it isn't really one city. It's more like two distinct personalities, split right down the middle by the mighty Danube River. On one side, you've got Buda. It's all hills, history, royalty. It's kind of quiet and serene. And then you look across the river to Pest, and it's totally flat, buzzing with energy, the commercial heart of the city. This split, this duality, it's the key to everything.
And you'd think that contrast would create conflict, but it doesn't. It creates a kind of harmony. As one of our sources puts it so well, it creates a special magic. It's that constant push and pull between the quiet, historic hills and the bustling modern streets that really gives Budapest its soul.
So, to understand this magic, you gotta do a quick flyby of its history. I mean, the story goes way back to the Romans, but the moment that really defines Hungary is 896 AD, when the Magyar tribes show up. Now, you fast forward through a golden age, 150 years of Ottoman rule, but the date you really need to remember, the one that created the city we know today, is 1873. That's when Buda, Pest, and an even older part called Óbuda officially merged and became Budapest.
This unification just kicked off an absolute explosion of development. The city was ready to become a grand, world-class capital. So let's take a look at how that ambition was literally built in stone and steel.
So, what's the first thing you need to connect two cities? A bridge. But the chain bridge, well, it was so much more than that. When it opened in 1849, it was a massive statement. It was the first permanent link, a powerful symbol of unity. Oh, and you gotta love the urban legend about it. They say the sculptor of the lions was so embarrassed when a kid pointed out they didn't have tongues that he jumped into the river. It's not true, but hey, it's a great story.
Okay, so let's walk across that bridge to the Buda side. You immediately start climbing up Castle Hill, and bam! You are stepping right into the heart of the Old Kingdom. You've got Buda Castle, the historic seat of Hungarian kings. You have the absolutely stunning Matthias Church with its famous colorful tile roof. That's where the kings were crowned. And for the best views in the city, you head to the Fisherman's Bastion. It looks like something from a fairy tale, but those 7 towers aren't just for looks. Each one represents one of the 7 Magyar tribes that founded the nation.
Now, while you're standing at the bastion, you look back across the river and you just can't miss it. The crown jewel of Pest, the Hungarian Parliament building. It's an absolute masterpiece. But here's the really cool part. The secret hidden in plain sight. You see that central dome? Its height is exactly 96 meters. And that's no accident. It's a direct tribute to the year 896, the year the Magyars arrived. And this grand national story all comes together right here at Heroes Square. This whole place was built to celebrate the 1,000-year anniversary of the nation's founding. You've got the 7 original chieftains right there in the front, and behind them are all of Hungary's most important kings and heroes. It's like a giant open-air history book.
But okay, within this huge, sweeping national epic, there's another story. It's more intimate, it's more complicated, and it's just as important. So let's step away from the grand boulevards and into the winding little streets of the 7th district, the historic Jewish quarter.
200,000. Just let that number sink in. Before World War II, this neighborhood was home to a thriving, bustling community of around 200,000 Jewish people. It was one of the most vibrant centers of Jewish life in all of Europe.
And right at the heart of it all stands this magnificent building, the Dauphin Street Synagogue. To give you an idea of the confidence and the importance of this community, this is the largest synagogue in Europe, and the 2nd largest in the entire world. That is a statement.
The way it looks tells a powerful story, too. The style is called Neo-Moorish. And for the Jewish community back then, this was not just about aesthetics. It was a very deliberate choice to connect back to the golden age of Jewish culture that flourished centuries earlier in Spain. It was a proud declaration, a way of saying our roots are deep and glorious.
And the community that built this synagogue, they were part of what's called the Neolog stream, a movement that was pretty unique to Hungary. They weren't strictly Orthodox, and they weren't strictly Reform. They were trying to find a middle path, a way to be modern, to be proudly Hungarian, but also to hold on to their Jewish traditions. It's like they were building their own kind of bridge between two worlds.
And the Jewish quarter wasn't just one thing. It was incredibly diverse. You had these huge, grand Neolog synagogues like Dohani. But then, just a few streets over, the Orthodox community had their main synagogue, the Kazinci, built in a completely different, very Hungarian Art Nouveau style. This neighborhood was alive with debates and different identities.
But behind the incredible beauty of the Doheny Synagogue lies a devastating history. During the war, this whole neighborhood was walled off and turned into a ghetto. And in the garden, right there on the synagogue grounds, there's a mass grave. This is almost unheard of in Jewish tradition. But during the horrific winter of 1944-45, over 2,000 people died from starvation and cold, and there was simply nowhere else to bury them.
Today, that garden is a memorial park. It's home to the Tree of Life, this beautiful metal weeping willow where every single leaf is inscribed with the name of a Hungarian Holocaust victim. The park also honors heroes, people like the Swedish diplomat Raoul Wallenberg, who saved tens of thousands of lives. He was a small light in an immense darkness.
You know, one of the most haunting memorials in the entire city is right on the bank of the Danube. It's just 60 pairs of iron shoes, scattered along the edge of the water. They're there to remember the thousands of Jews who were marched to this spot by Hungarian fascists, ordered to take off their shoes because they were valuable, and then shot, their bodies falling into the river. It's just chilling.
So here's the thing. How do these two massive stories, the story of empire and the story of unspeakable tragedy, how do they coexist in the Budapest of today?
The final cost was just staggering. 600,000. Out of a population of over 800,000, around 600,000 Hungarian Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. The community, that vibrant world that existed before the war, it was decimated.
And yet, that's not the end of the story, because if you go to the Jewish Quarter today, it is alive again. It's buzzing with culture, with restaurants, with a new generation. It's an incredible testament to resilience. And I think this quote from our source says it all. The Jewish story in Budapest is a story of life, culture, prosperity, tragedy, and always revival.
What Budapest teaches us, I think, is that a city is never just one story. It's a collection of layers, of amazing triumphs and terrible tragedies, built one right on top of the other. And it kind of leaves us with a question to think about. What stories, both the glorious ones and the painful ones, are hidden in plain sight on the streets where you live?